Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the latest judgment of Supreme Court. So, Supreme Court has decided that the daughters have equal right in terms of inheriting the property from the father. So, there was a amendment in 2005. The amendment was to provide the equal rights to the daughter as in on par with the son. Now the question which was in front of the Supreme Court, which the bench decided on, was whether this particular act could work in the retrospective. What do you mean by retrospective is basically the law which can be followed before the day the judgment was passed or the law was formed. So anything which have retrospective feature means that it is not only applied from the day going ahead but for the past instance also. So like let's start and see what all the Supreme Court has said, what all the provisions of the amendments were, what exactly was Hindu law of succession of 1956 and other conflicting judgment of Supreme Courts before this one. So let's start. The first thing that we have to know is that very importantly Supreme Court has said that daughters like son have equal birthright to inherit joint Hindu family property. Now India has something called as HUF, Hindu Undivided Family, in which the ancestral property or the parental property is transferred from the parents to the son earlier, but after 2005 it has been decided that daughters also have equal right just like as the son. So this is something, a major judgment which has been come into place by Supreme Court. Now this judgment came, as mentioned earlier, it was about the retrospective effect, whether only the daughters which are born after 2005 could avail the benefit under this amendment, or even the daughters who have born before that have equal rights like son on the property of their fathers. So that is one of the major criteria or the major question in front of the bench when they went ahead and gave the judgment. So what the Supreme Court has now decided is that it will have retrospective effect, which means that not only the daughter who have been born after 2005 will be able to avail benefit under the law, but the one who have been around for before 2005 also. So this is again a very progressive step and kind of comes from the fact that our Indian Constitution, Article 15, specifically prohibit the discrimination on the basis of sex. So which means there should not be any discrimination, or the overall language, the right to equality which we talk about, right to equality itself would be questioned if the daughter and the son are discriminated on the basis of gender. So that was how the bench has come to the conclusion that no, this will also have a retrospective effect. The Hindu law was not very progressive for its time. Now, what again this particular judgment was based on? It was based on the Section 6 of Hindu Succession Act of 1956. So, the Section 6, remember the section, it was the Section 6 of the Hindu Succession Act of 1956, which conferred the status of co-partner. Now, co-partner is kind of called as the joint legal here. Like if you understand joint legal here, which means like son, daughter also have the co-partner rights over the property of father. So that is one of the thing which is mentioned in the section 6 of the act. So daughter born before or after the amendment in the same manner as the son. So they have come ahead, they have like valued the question, or they have kind of conferred the question on which whether the daughters will have the similar right before 2005 also, and they have came to the conclusion that yes, it this particular amendment which was made in 2005 will have the retrospective effect as well. So these are the few things regarding the judgment. Let's also try to understand some related judgment. Like before this judgment came into light, there were other, in fact, since 2005 itself, there has been many question of law which has been come in front of court, and they have decided at times with a contradictory judgment. So in 2015, in Prakash versus Fulvati case, what Supreme Court has said that that 2005 amendment could be granted only to living daughters of living co-parceners. So which means that the father and the daughter has to be alive, and then only the amendments benefit could be transferred. So this is one of the major thing which was decided in 2005. But then in 2018 in February, what court held that the share of the father who died in 2001 will also pass to his daughter as co-partners during the partition of property as per the law of 2005. So what here in 2018 court came ahead and said that okay, no, it's not just the father has to be alive till 2005 and then only the like the amendment law would be functional. But what the court decided is that if the father has died in 2001 and then the property division is happening, even then the daughters will have the equal right as far as the son. So this is again, but then in April same year in 2018 itself, court reiterated the position taken in 2015. Like they went back on their words in the 2018 judgment and finally held that no, the amendment is only applicable to the living daughters of living co-partners. So that was one of the thing. Now the thing that you have to remember now is that with this SC judgment of yesterday, the overruling of all the previous judgment happened. So now the judgments of 2015 and 18 are not valid, and the latest judgment, the 2020 judgment of Supreme Court, will take precedence, and it has overruled the previous judgment. So that was kind of the little bit how the Supreme Court has come to the conclusion it has reached yesterday. That's what it is about. Now let's also try to understand the background, like where the whole Hindu succession law takes its core values from. So it is depend on Mitakshara school of Hindu law. So if you have like in your society, Indian society, you will read about Mitakshara. There is another school, the Bhagya law school, which is mostly followed in Bengal and Assam. So Bengal and Assam has different law where the succession is not as automatic as in the Mitakshara. But the Hindu succession law of 1956 was based on the Mitakshara law of school of Hindu law, which basically means they govern the succession and inheritance of property. So how the property will be succeeded to the son, or how the inheritance will move through the lineage. But you have to remember this Mitakshara school of Hindu law recognized males as legal heir. So at that time in 1956 only male were called as the legal heirs for the parental property. Now the other thing that you have to remember is even though the word come as Hindu law, it is also applied to Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains and follower of Arya Samaj, Brahmo Samaj as well. So not only the Hindus but Buddhists, Jains, Sikh as well as Brahmo Samaj and Arya Samaj follower were also governed by the same Hindu law of succession. In fact, if you go beyond what it specifically says, that one who is not Muslim, Christian, Parsi or Jew, so anybody apart from the Muslim, Parsi, Jew and Christian would be considered in under the ambit of your Hindu succession law. So that is there. Now how come the amendment came into picture? So there has been lot of debate. As mentioned earlier, constitution by default provide the prohibit on the discrimination based on sex, that then we have right to equality, and this law was kind of in contradiction to the right to equality, the one which is envisioned in our constitution. So because of it, in 174th Law Commission report has also recommended that there are like urgent need to reform in the succession law so that the daughters will also have sufficient right in the parental property. And since 2005 they amended the law and provided that daughters will also have the rights to the property on par with the son. So that is how the background of this particular act came in, what the latest judgment was all about, whether this particular 2005 amendment act could be retrospective in nature, which means before 2005, if there has been any partition of property, could it be applicable? So yes, the Supreme Court decided that yes, we are moving towards a progressive society where the women and men should have equal right, and in that regard daughters have equal birthright on the property of their parents as the son. So that's the whole criteria on which the Supreme Court has came to the judgment. I hope you have understood the whole concept. You have understood what the judgment was all about. From your UPSC point of view, you can use the like from women empowerment point of view, you can understand. Then you have to understand the section which is associated with the co-parsoner, which is basically your joint legal heir, and also what is the Mitakshara school of Hindu law was. So these are the few things that you have to know. If you have any doubt, feel free to comment in the video section. There is a section where you can put your comment on YouTube. Feel free to comment over there and I'll try to get back to you. Thank you.